Hello, and welcome to another video. And in this one, I am following up from my haul video. That was the last video I released, so if you're interested in hauls, that was my first in-person haul. I did a little bit of a shop tour. It was a lot of fun. Having a lot of new things to play with, including these white pencils. I thought I'd separate this one so I could do like a proper test, and the other video was getting quite long, and I thought that this one might be good to show off, just see what I feel like other people will be interested in, how white certain brands of white pencils are. But basically I was just testing the layering capabilities by doing sort of like stacks on layer. The first is just one application, then 2, 3, 4, and so on. But I learned quickly, this is not the best paper. I do have better black paper now, but I am intimidated to use it. As I am with most of my good new art supplies, I get a little nervous. And I don't want to waste it because of how expensive some things are. So I get all in my head about not being a good enough artist. But I am trying to kick myself of that habit and start using all the things that I've got. So if you are interested in seeing a better version of this somewhere down the track, I would definitely subscribe, because I think I will. When I'm working on it, I'm working on my confidence, and the people are so lovely in the comments. I am feeling very inspired. So we'll see. I can feel myself improving. So it's really, really good. But what you are here for is the pencils. So as you can see, first up we had the Derwent Studio Chinese White in 72. And much like the one below, it went to layer 4, there was a difference, and then 4, 5, and 6 all felt the same, which was the same with the Faber-Castell Polychromos White 101 with 3 stars or asterisks or whatever we want to call them. I believe that is the Lightfast rating. I have not looked that up myself. I am just trusting what I have watched in other artists' videos, so I could be wrong there, but I'm fairly sure that is the Lightfast rating, and it's fairly, like, that's a good Lightfast for those pencils. Then I have the Prismacolor Premier White PC 938, which also went to the number 4 layer, which, yeah, I think that's really more reflective of the paper than the actual pencil itself. Which is unfortunate, but like I said, I am looking to improve. But Prismacolor was by far the whitest. Like, it had the richest pigment on the black paper. It was very, very white, and if that is what you were looking for, I would definitely recommend that one. If you're only getting one pencil, that would probably be the best one to get. And lastly, we have the Rembrant Polycolor Lyra White 2, 5 zeros, 1. Now, I've heard of the Rembrant brand, but I don't know much about their pencils, so I have no idea if they all have very, very long numbers like that. I can't even... Is it 2,000,001? I'm not quite sure. I apologize. I don't know. But it is quite excessive. However, that one, I noticed a difference up to layer 5. So there is a bit more there. However, it is the least pigmented on the black paper. But I don't necessarily think that will mean that you won't want it, because working with them all, I think there is a place for all of them. While Prismacolor might be the only one you want to get if you just want to get one, I think they can all work quite well together. In saying that, my brother is popping in to show off his keychain. It is the dog from Chainsaw Man. I cannot remember the character's name. I think it starts with C, like a Chino? I don't know. No, we're not even gonna guess. But I worked on a bit of a sketch. It's a very rough sketch. It was just to feel it out and to play with all the pencils together to see how they interact in a more practical way. And the Rembrandt works really well as the sketching foundation because it's not very bright and in your face. So you can definitely go over it and alter things with brighter, richer colors. So as graphite is pretty hard to see on black paper, like you can see it, but it's not the easiest. Having the Rembrandt might be a good substitution. You might have other ways to sketch on black paper to start with, but I quite like having the muted Rembrandt as that sort of, starter for sketches on black paper. So I'm quite pleased to have that. Now I will say, as you can see, the Prismacolor is the brightest white on the page. It is very, very stark and almost sparkling in its opacity. It is gorgeous. I definitely recommend that if you're going to do any sort of pencil drawings on black paper. I think it would look sad without it. But, like I said, I do think there is a place for the other ones. It helps add different values and depth to the drawing that you're working on. Now, I will say there is not a lot of difference between the Derwent Chinese White and the Faber-Castell Polychromos White. I felt like they were a very, very similar shade. I can't really see a difference when they're laying down. I think the Derwent are slightly waxier. They might have bloomed a little more, but as someone who is not bothered by wax bloom at all, it is not an issue for me. But also, it wasn't a significant enough difference where I could definitely say, yes, it blooms more. I could have just been, without realizing it, doing more burnishing with the Derwent pencil compared to the other one. I don't think there's a significant difference between those two white pencils. I did keep using them back and forward just to see. But yeah, in that instance, I would get one or the other, depending on if you have a preference or if one is cheaper than the other. I don't think that there is any real issue there. They are very, very, very similar. So if you were to want to get multiple whites, I would recommend, obviously, the Prismacolor, like 10 out of 10. Kind of surprisingly, considering how unpigmented it is, but the Rembrandt, because it has less pigment, it gives almost more of a grey, which works really well in these sort of volumes, monotone drawings. And either the Derwent or the Faber-Castell, one or the other, not necessarily both. I wouldn't get both. I wouldn't waste my time on both. My time? I meant my money. Oh my gosh, I am just talking too much and making no sense. But no, overall, I am pretty happy, and I'm excited to see where I'm going to go with more fleshed out drawings. And if you have any white pencil recommendations, please leave them below. I would love to play with more white pencils, and do, better than just a good old-fashioned rough sketch. It is a lot of fun sometimes just to let yourself scribble away, to play with your new supplies. So I'm glad that I did it. But as you can see there, in order of almost value, it's hard to see the difference between the Derwent and the Faber-Castell, like where one starts and one ends. It's really difficult. I think they are basically the same. But no, I'm glad I had these. I hope that you've learned something. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you leave your recommendations below. I really, really appreciate that. I'm still learning and growing, and I need all the help and advice I can get. But yeah, no, thank you for watching, and thank you for supporting me, and thank you to all my new subscribers. I know that it's silly. It's only like I have 30 subscribers, but it's so exciting. That's like a lot of strangers that want to pay attention to me. So thank you so much. And as always, if I'm lucky, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.